Welcome to DopeBets. Please subscribe and like this video for more CFL and other sports betting picks. College football is in full swing, and so is the NFL.
Overrated as
But this weekend, I'll be betting on Canadian football. I personally like betting on CFL football because it's always exciting with evenly matched competition. With that being said, we'll be going over this week's Canadian football games that are scheduled for this weekend, CFL Week 16. But first,
not so fast, my friend.
Let's get a quick recap of the previous week's CFL action from Week 15. For the first game of CFL Week 15, we had bet for the Hamilton Tiger Cats to come away with a victory over the Blue Bombers, and they did just that. They pretty much controlled the entire game as running back Greg Bell rushed for over 130 yards, a great way to start the weekend with a winning bet. For the second game of CFL Week 15, I had gotten this one completely wrong. I had said that the Ottawa Redblacks would beat the BC Lions, and that didn't happen at all. Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions offense came out on fire, and they never let up for 1 second. A crushing loss as our current streak of 7 winning CFL picks in a row ended. The third game of CFL Week 15 was yet another losing bet that we had placed. I had said that the Edmonton Elks would beat the Toronto Argonauts, and that didn't happen at all. For once. It was actually Edmonton that had an early lead, but things turned around as the Argos scored 27 second half points and won the game in the closing seconds. The fourth game of CFL Week 15 was a complete shocker. We had predicted the Montreal Alouettes to at least cover the spread against the Rough Riders, and they did just that as they actually dominated this game. Veteran quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson and wide receiver Tyson Philpott were on fire as they led Montreal to a 48-31 victory over the Rough Riders. So to recap CFL Week 15, if you had followed all of my picks from the last video, you would have gone 2-2 this week. We were able to capitalize on the Hamilton Tiger Cats taking care of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We also hit on the Montreal Alouettes covering the spread as they actually won outright against the Rough Riders. After an action-packed CFL weekend, we have 4 exciting matchups to break down and make a moneyline pick for this upcoming CFL Week 16, so let's get it. First, we'll have the Montreal Alouettes at the Toronto Argonauts, Friday night, September 19th. After a rough start to the season, Toronto comes into this game at 5-8. The Argos are quietly on a 3-game winning streak as of last week. The only problem is that in the most recent matchup, quarterback Nick Arbuckle was injured and had to leave the game early. The Argos are still awaiting the return of Chad Kelly, and this could be a major issue as they are pushing to turn this season around. The Argos are going to have to rely on some really good defense here soon. After winning last week, the Montreal Alouettes put an end to their 5-game losing streak. They are still without starting quarterback Davis Alexander, but he may be returning sometime soon. The Alouettes have been on damage control due to their numerous amounts of injuries, but with solid defense, the Alouettes are looking to bounce back to where we're used to seeing them. Montreal definitely has the weapons to be a dangerous team, but injuries and relying on backup quarterback play isn't exactly the greatest formula for winning. I think that the Toronto Argonauts have a little bit of an injury situation at their hands. Montreal has a little bit of momentum after dominating Calgary Stampeders last week. Montreal could also be getting their starting quarterback on the field after missing time due to injury. With the playoffs approaching, I'll look for the Montreal Alouettes to win this game outright. Next, we'll have the BC Lions at the Calgary Stampeders, Friday night, September 19th. After an embarrassing loss to the Alouettes last week, the Stampeders come into this game at 8-4. Quarterback Vernon Adams Jr. and wide receiver Damian Alford are absolute studs for Calgary on offense. Although they gave up a ton of points last week, the Stampeders do have an absolute smothering defense. Sometimes good teams have an off game, and the underdog takes full advantage of that, as we've seen last week. They'll look to bounce back though as the playoffs approach. Last week, Nathan Rourke led his team to a dominating victory over the Ottawa Redblacks. Rourke made plays all over the field and got the ball to his receivers very efficiently. This is all good, except when you realize the fact that the BC Lions are the most inconsistent team in the CFL. They are notorious for blowing a team out one week and then completely taking a shit the next week. While Calgary is trying to recover after an embarrassing loss last week, the BC Lions are looking to continue their winning ways. However, I'll look for the Calgary Stampeders to bounce back and win this game. It's the same pattern for the Lions. Win big last week and fall off next week. A great combination for a team like Calgary that is looking for a bounce back win. Give me the Stampeders at home. Next, we'll have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at the Ottawa Redblacks, Saturday night, September 20th. After a rough loss last week, the Redblacks come into this game at 4-9. Yeah, their offense has its inconsistencies, but that's not really the biggest problem they have. It's the fact that the Ottawa defense can't stop anybody, whether it be against the run or the pass. The Redblacks score a lot of points, but they really have no choice since their defense gives up a lot of points. This leaves the offense in really desperate situations. The Blue Bombers come into this game at 6-7 and are currently riding a 3-game losing streak. Things are a little bit worse for them right now as they're having to rely on the play of their backup quarterback, Tommy Strevler, who isn't exactly so hot. This is due to starting quarterback Zach Collaros being sidelined due to a neck injury. The chances of being in the postseason are starting to quietly slip away from the Bombers. For this game, I think the Redblacks will let quarterback Drew Brown start as he sat out due to a knee injury. This is a huge upgrade from the current backup quarterback Justin Crum, who has started the last couple of weeks. Winnipeg is without their starting quarterback and are desperate for a win. I really don't see it happening this CFL Week 16. Give me the Redblacks at home. Last, we'll have the Edmonton Elks at the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Saturday night, September 20th. Hamilton comes in with a decent 8-5 record this week and are on a 2-game winning streak. Quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell is having a great season, although his numbers have been a bit down the last few weeks. Hamilton has gotten by though with a great ground game and big defensive plays. Edmonton comes in this game with a record of 5-8, and if it weren't for Cody Fajardo taking over a few weeks ago, they'd have at least a few more losses. They actually are a decent team, but unfortunately can't come through in the clutch when it matters the most. And let's not forget about the Elks' terrible offensive line and senseless penalties. For CFL Week 16, I'll take the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Ticats are currently on a 2-game winning streak, and they'll look to extend that here and improve their record as the playoffs approach. This has the potential to be a high-scoring game, but expect Hamilton to come away with the win. Their offense is hot and stacked with talent. Give me Hamilton at home. That's all my CFL picks that I have for you today. So let's get a quick recap of our picks for CFL Week 16. We're going with the Montreal Alouettes, Calgary Stampeders, Ottawa Redblacks, and Hamilton Tiger Cats all to handle business on the field and come away with a victory. Hopefully we'll have another exciting week of CFL football and winning bets. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoy this type of content and comment below your CFL Week 16 picks. I'd love to hear them. Thanks again for tuning in this week to DopeBets. Subscribe for more upcoming sports betting content.